Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy RJ. Alright, y'all. So I got so what I got for y'all today, I got you forgot these rare Omnitrix aliens exist by Dr. Wardy. So yeah, we about to get straight into it. If you like Ben 10, if you like this content, if you like things like this, if you like content, as I just said, if you like content like Ben 10, Spider-Man, funny videos, things like that, wrestling content, I'm gonna start doing more of that on the channel. Please hit that link down below, as a good amount of you guys are not subscribed. It only takes a click of a button. It's free. Please do it. It greatly help me out and it great help grow the channel. So yeah, like I said, all that good stuff. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get straight into it.
Pretty much since Ben 10 first aired in the mid-2000s, or at least from about season 2 onwards, we've had some aliens that were rarer than others. And one of the best aspects of Ben 10 is how well it manages to feel like this super expansive universe, while at the same time feeling incredibly well fleshed out and lived in. Only feeling more and more so the longer the series went on and the more space was explored. And not so surprisingly, the largest factor for that is the aliens themselves. Both Ben's transformations and the species they're from. They just feel so a part of the universe, even if some are sentient Lego gorillas. Each Omnitrix species just manages to feel so ingrained in the universe. So moving forward, we'll be talking about the rarest alien species in Ben 10. But before we do my usual cover each alien one at a time, let's talk a bit more broadly about how the other end of the rarity spectrum usually is explored, just so we can in contrast see how different the aliens we're about to cover are. More broadly, exploring these species outside of the Omnitrix tends to come in one of two forms. The main cast and we as an audience go off-world and explore their homeworlds, spaceships, or whatever planet a species might be settled on. Like we see for spider monkey species, the galvanic mechamorphs, or even the non-Omnitrix species like the incursions. Oh, and there's obviously all the Inor system aliens, a bit of foreshadowing there for later on. Or in the other category I'm talking about, those alien species find their way to Earth, which I'm now realising the incursions sort of fall into both categories. I'm also talking about forearm species coming to Earth alongside Luma, all the younger members of Accelerate species inhabiting Undertown, or really any of the background aliens we see in Undertown, Omnitrix transformations or otherwise. And now that we've gone over that, let's get into some alien species that you definitely won't be seeing faffing about in Undertown, in the rarest aliens in Ben 10. Starting incidentally from the beginning of Rare Aliens, and the alien that brought the introduction of additional aliens in the first place, we've got Cannonbolt. Introduced in the episode The Big
I remember Cannonbolt.
Cannonbolt is a member of a mostly extinct species from a destroyed homeworld, which presumably was destroyed as a result of the Big Tick coming in and in a very Galactus kind of way, sucking the nutrients out of the planet, eventually eroding it away. So Ben presumably unlocking his species from being somewhat in the vicinity of the Big Tick, which had to have some trace amount of their DNA in it, or it could be entirely coincidental, since he was unlocked right before the tick landed on Earth by Gwen faffing around with the Omnitrix. This all leading to Ben using Cannonbolt to rip it apart in some form of cosmic justice. From that, while their planet's completely gone, not unlike the Petrosapiens, it'd be a reasonable assumption that there are a handful of them out there that were off-planet when it was destroyed, like we see from however many other Omnitrix aliens hanging around the place, like on the prison planet in Carcicon. I've got a real weakness for Cannonbolt.
Now, for me, I will say this, when Cannonball first came out, Cannonball was definitely a cool alien, and he still is a cool alien. I really like the fact that he's not just almost like a indestructible bowling ball type of alien, to me. But I mean, a lot of people may agree, and a lot of people may disagree. But to me, Cannonball was not really one of my favorite. But he's definitely obviously in my top 10 of all of Ben aliens, because obviously, even though the show is called Ben 10, Ben 10 obviously has way more aliens, like over a million transformations. But to me, Cannonball is definitely my top 10, but in probably like the lower, probably like around top 5, top 6, something like that. But yeah.
Spoken about him more at length in an older video on the later additions to the classic roster, but let's touch on him more generally here. Out of series, he was supposed to be one of the original 10 aliens.
And honestly, I forgot that Cannonbolt even... Honestly, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but people that maybe watch the show later or people that just haven't seen it in a while, But Cannonball actually has an ultimate form. I don't know if any of you guys know that or any of you guys even remember that.
It was later taken by Diamond Head before everything was finalized. And just in case you were really unfamiliar with the series and the name didn't give it away, he's a living cannonball. He's this top-heavy, roly-poly alien that curls up into a ball and uses his ludicrously durable shell.
And broke and he's very indestructible.
And he bounces about all over the place. Highlighted especially well in his introductory episode, but I've always been more of a fan of Kevin's first time encountering him, where he completely overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is one of my favorite Cannonball scenes. Yeah, definitely when he first turned into Cannonball in front of Kevin, and Kevin was like, "Oh, hi. I know all of your tricks. So any alien that you turn into, I know exactly what they're going to do, what you're going to do, and I have all their power, so I can counteract you with the alien that can counteract that alien, whatever alien you turn into, or whatever Like you get what I'm saying." Kevin was definitely shocked and surprised because he was like, "What? I never seen this alien. So, like what's going on? Like, why can't I catch you? Why can't I counter you or anything like that?" Because he never seen it, and this was a brand new alien to Kevin.
And now Amalgam Kevin. Something about Ben using the 11th alien to fight an amalgam of his other 10 feels really thematically pleasing to me.
Yeah.
Moving on to...
It was definitely good because the amalgamated form of Kevin, again, Kevin had all 10 powers of being alien. He had forearm strength. He probably had Walmart systems. He had the power to be like Rick Jaws as far as his teeth, as far as his mouth. He probably had gray matters, a little bit of gray matter. Well, not really too much of gray matter intelligence. He had heat blasts, flames, stink flies, goop, and all the other stuff. But he never seen Cannonball, so he didn't have a counter for that. So,
the big one, we have Alien X. He's definitely the most common on this list, but certainly earns a spot in this video, especially with the caveat that they exist outside of the Prime Timeline universe and outside of normal time and space in the Forge of Creation, which means they functionally don't exist in our universe, except when they choose to, like towards the end of Omniverse, with them deciding to hold Ben accountable for recreating the universe, again, which they exist outside of, in the episode Universe vs. Tennyson. So in the Prime series timeline, they're so rare they may as well not exist, excluding Ben's use of the transformation, but that probably goes without saying, since that applies to literally every alien we're talking about. As far as in the Forge of Creation, we don't know how many are in there, but it's probably safe to say there's not all too many, but I'm not even totally confident in saying that, since that's just purely based on one showing.
Yeah.
In saying that, we do know their numbers are increasing since we see...
I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, Alien X was kind of like, when I first seen Alien X, I was kind of like, what is this dude? He's supposed to be like this all-powerful alien, like, he's not doing anything. At first, he was kind of boring, but once you really saw Alien X's powers and saw what he could really do, he became one of my all-time favorites, but I'm pretty sure he's a lot of people's favorite alien.
A newborn celestial sapien in there. One young enough where, unlike the other members of the species, this one hasn't developed that secondary personality just yet. And on that, I know by the time Omniverse wraps up, Ben has complete control over Alien X, but let's say we're going back to the classic series where Ben was de-aged by the Fountain of Youth. Had he somehow had Alien X there, would he have turned into an infant celestial sapien and not had to argue with the two personalities for control, meaning he would be a toddler in complete control over everything? A bit of a side tangent there, but worth noting. And I'm sure by this point you're aware, but just in case you're not, celestial sapiens are functionally all-powerful beings who can warp space, time, reality, and all sorts, however they see fit, as long as their two personalities agree on doing so. Moving on to the transformation I'm particularly eager to get into, and the one that's probably the most straightforward at saying,
oh yeah, I remember this transformation. Like, we didn't really see too much of this dude outside of this particular I think there's like a special, but we didn't really see too much of this guy outside of this particular thing right here.
That's a rare alien. We've got vampire species, who actually, like someone we'll talk about shortly, have an episode surrounding their rarity and the possibility of their species fully coming back.
Exactly, we didn't really see much of them.
These Vladats were both a sentient species and the apex predator of the Anor system, being the system where all the spookier, monster-themed aliens are, like your Ghost Freaks, your Blitzwolfers, Snaros, and Frankenstrikes. In saying that, Vladats were the dominant species that used to use Frankenstrike's people as both slaves and a food source. This is before the other species all worked together and drove the Vladats extinct. That is, until series villains Ascare used the Alpha Rune to resurrect Lord Transil, who presumably was the leader of the Vladats, leading to the species returning, at least with one member for now, along with Ben unlocking Vampire, who I adore, silly outfit or not. And had things gone
to me, his outfit wasn't so silly, but I really like that. I wish we could have saw more of this alien.
Scare's way, all those long-dead Vladats would have been resurrected and used as an army that each, using their mind control abilities, could have had armies of their own that would have subsequently taken over the universe. But thanks to Ben, but more so Dr. Victor, this wasn't the case. So now Lord Transil will presumably live out the rest of his life, trapped in a glass box, just close enough to the sun to cause him some serious discomfort, but not so close that he's completely turned to ash. And I suppose Ben is running around as Vampire from time to time. Why I draw attention to Vampire specifically amongst this list is that the rarity surrounding the species goes from a fun detail to the focal point of the narrative of the episode, and hugely adds to the history of the Innor system aliens, retroactively making everything that happened in the classic series that little bit more in depth. Moving on, Nanomech is an outlier amongst outliers. They're just not really a species at all.
I forgot about Nanomech.
I cannot stress enough how much of a unit.
Of course, Nanomech isn't a species from what is known. And Nanomech is an alien, if you want to call it that. That the Omnitrix itself basically created.
Unique quality Nanomech has in the Omnitrix. They're not an alien in the conventional sense. They're an artificial hybrid created by the Omnitrix, blending Ben's human DNA with an alien nanite or nanochip during the events of Ben 10 Alien Swarm, the 2009 live-action film. And I'm sure even
I remember that, and that, to me, that was a good movie. It was an okay movie for its time. I didn't really enjoy it because technically, you didn't really. Honestly, that was one movie that was kind of lackluster because in Ben and Raise Against Time, yes, they were trash. Yes, those type of movies were trash for the time when you look back on it, but they were good for those times. I remember when Racing Against Time first aired, I was so geeked for that movie. But one thing I can say about Racing Against Time versus Alien Swarm, at least with Racing Against Time, you saw more of the alien. You saw Heat Blast a little bit more. You saw Gray Matter and you saw Wild Mutt. But you obviously didn't see, you didn't see Upgrade. You didn't see Forearms. Like, you didn't see Ghost Freak. I know for sure if they had a show Ghost Freak definitely would have probably creeped some kids out if they had a minute to be able to do it and make them look like he's supposed to. Ghost Freak would have been creepy. You obviously didn't see Stinkfly. You didn't see I would have loved to have seen Accelerate. I would have loved to see who else. Oh, you did. Oh yeah, you did see Diamond Head. I would have loved to see what's another one? I can't put it on top of my head, but yeah, I can't for whatever reason I cannot think of. Oh, I would have loved to see Cannonball, but who knows if he unlocked Cannonball by this time. I would have definitely loved to see. Man, I don't know. My head just drawing a blank right now. I definitely would have loved to see Forums though. But in Alien Swarm was more so just them talking and just riding around and just doing side quests. You didn't really get to see much of being an alien in Alien Swarm. You more so saw Humongousaur for like a brief moment. You saw Big Chill for a brief moment. You saw Nanomech, and then that was really about it. We didn't see Swamp Fire. We didn't see Wild Mud. We didn't see freaking we didn't see Jet Ray. We didn't see none of those aliens like that.
The long-time fans of the series could easily have forgotten or missed it entirely, meaning that Nanomech made it onto this list as a bit of an oddity, being a species that didn't and won't exist outside of the Omnitrix. Ben really is the only member of the species. No outside this universe or resurrect the DNA donor. The Omnitrix made an exception here and just did that. I'm quite surprised the series never really did anything with this. It's not that they didn't include Nanomech appropriately following the introduction, it's just more so that this really out there one-off wasn't replicated or pointed at in series whatsoever. I suppose you could say it's a carry-on.
Oh yeah, Amphibian, you didn't see Amphibian or anything
follow-up to the DNA repair sequence in Alien Force, mixing alien DNA with the hybrid as a way of fixing or diversifying their damaged DNA. What I'm getting at is that I quite would have liked to see this replicated in some way, even if only temporarily. And speaking of, it's strange that Nanomech wasn't a temporary transformation. It's a bit odd this stayed as a permanent fixture of the Omnitrix, and this was pre-Ultimatrix and certainly pre-completed Omnitrix. I'm surprised this transformation carried on after the original prototype Omnitrix was destroyed. And getting into our final 2 transformations for this list, who are very much intertwined, we've got Diamond Head and Chroma Stone. Starting with Diamond Head, and in contrast...
How can Diamond Head be a forgotten rare alien? I mean, well, I guess you didn't really see him that much, and you didn't see much of Diamond Head in Omniverse. You barely saw him in freaking Alien Force or in Ultimate Alien, so I guess you could say that.
To his species being the first we met a member of with Tetrax, the species is, for a good chunk of the series, functionally extinct outside of Ben and Tetrax. Prior to the events of the series, Vilgax came through to the home world, hiring Tetrax to steal this crystal that functioned as a backup for the entire planet and its population. Vilgax then taking a note from the Big Tick, destroying the planet, killing everyone on it, leaving Tetrax as the sole surviving member of their species. Luckily for us, there is another species on the planet other than Petrosapiens called Crystal Sapiens, and a member of that species, Sugalite, or the member of the species, acted as the guardian of the planet. Not so effective at the time the planet was blown up, but would turn out to be trapped in Ben's Diamond Head transformation after Ben as Chroma Stone gets shattered, only to reform as Diamond Head, then to be shattered again by Tetrax to reveal Sugalite, the only Crystal Sapien, who would then get a hold of that crystal with the backup for the planet on it and head back to revive the long-dead planet and people. There were some hiccups there with Vilgax getting involved, but Ben comes in and lends a hand as Diamond Head, resurrecting the people. So we'll call Diamond Head a temporarily rare alien species, and Chromosome's species only seemingly ever consisted of Sugalite as a one-off. So to summarise, we've got a presumably functionally extinct species in Cannibal. I'm imagining they'd probably have a similar population to Saiyans from Dragon Ball, having a handful of surviving members of the species. The Celestial Sapiens who do exist in numbers but not physically in the Prime Timeline or any regular alternate universe, and an artificial transformation that doesn't really exist outside of Ben 10, along with a species entirely consisting of a resurrected member who's been trapped by the sun, knowing there's a human being wielding the Omnitrix running about using his DNA as a source. Another resurrected species, this time with the entire population coming back to life, and a one-off guardian of a recently resurrected people. If you've made it this far into the video and aren't subscribed, please consider doing so. Either way, I just appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching.
Dope video by Dr. Wardy for all the rare aliens. But yeah, there was a lot of, I mean, I guess you could, I mean, to me, I wouldn't really consider Diamond Head a rare forgotten alien. Diamond Head is like one of the most favorite aliens from the classic series to me, and a lot of other people, but I wouldn't necessarily say he's forgotten, but I guess you could say that. So yeah, but let me know y'all thoughts down in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff if you have not done so already. And it's been your boy RJ, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.